Oh, I want to get to the back of the room thing. That's the critical thing I don't want to miss out on. So we're going to go to page 125. How to sell a ton at the back of the room. I virtually always outsell everybody when I'm there, and many times you could put 2 or 3 speakers together and I outsell them. And so I'm going to give you the exact method, and right after that is the entire transcript of a 2-hour CD that you got as a bonus on how to sell at the back of the room. So let's get into it. The middle of page 125, and this is probably one of the most important sections for a speaker that you ever find, because I mean, it's not uncommon to pull $250,000 for me in one speech, 90 minutes. Boom, bam, wham, thank you, ma'am. Everybody's happy. Nobody ever acts like I'm high pressure. Never a word about me pushing and you will see. I'll bring up a term called a table rush. You'll see that from speakers sometimes. What I don't want you to be is totally influenced. See, I've been around a long time, and so I kind of know what goes on behind the scenes. When somebody gets people to rush to the back of the room, that seems cool, and it is cool, except there's usually enormous numbers of returns that come from those things, where you get people whacked out into a frenzy, they're not thinking, and they buy stuff that they shouldn't have or they shouldn't have bought. So there's an enormous number of returns, even though it looks pretty impressive at the time. So I don't do anything like that. But I get very little returns too, almost 0 returns. So this is a great method. All right, first of all, use your products during the event. I told you about the example with the books. So you can give your books out and then pick them up and read from them. A couple times. Don't do the whole thing like that, but in a 90-minute presentation, I might pick the book up twice and read from it, and the whole idea is to show the value of it, see? And so don't forget, if you do that trick, to put a piece of paper in so when they sit down that it says you don't have to buy the book. It's just here for our use. They'll buy it anyway, but put that in there so they don't feel pressured, all right? Next thing is, again, I got to go back to the CSI theory, crappy, stupid idea theory, all right? If you got a crap product that nobody wants, you can do this stuff perfect and nobody's going to buy anything, all right? So you got to make sure there's demand for what you have. So you really want to check that out in small venues, because if you get your chance in front of a big crowd and bomb, the promoter's never going to have you back, see? Because they usually get a percentage of the deal. So if you bomb, the word will spread fast. Oh my God, don't have them. They didn't sell anything. See? Okay, now it's good to have some physical products if you're going to sell at the back of the room. People like to carry stuff out by the pound. All right, so have a book, have a CD. Have workbook, notebooks, binders, albums, that kind of stuff, because they like that. They want to carry something home with them. And then have later on you'll see it says have a really big intangible product. Now when people tell me that they don't have a product, I say if you got a mouth, you got a product, because you can always consult with people, say. So coaching, online or phone coaching. People will pay a lot of money for that, to be able to talk to a person one-on-one to get help for what they're doing, see? So you have a product even if it's not anything physical at this point, see? Okay, next part of this is when you hit the stage, you better be pretty darn clear in your own mind that you want to sell stuff. I'll give you know what? This example I'm going to give is going to come from the event where Lori first saw me. I don't remember the guy's name. No, I know it was Mark Jones, but the guy right before me was a guy, I hated him, kind of like Brendan, all right? Young, good-looking guy, perfectly polished, perfect suit, it fit perfect. I mean, I couldn't get dressed in the morning if it wasn't for the stretch bands that George Foreman put in these damn things, all right? All right? So I really couldn't. And I don't get dressed up that much anyway. So, and he has got them laughing, crying, and I mean, I've seen the best of the best. And people are afraid to follow me, not the other way around. And I'm thinking, damn, this guy is good. He got standing ovation. They loving him. Then I do my thing. No standing ovation. I do my back of the room sales. And we're all having dinner. Lori was there. Allie was there. I don't know who else was there, but he was there too, sitting across from me. And he's complaining because the crowd stunk. He did not sell one thing. What was that guy's name? Yeah, well, it was a different Tom, yeah. And he didn't sell one nickel. At the time, and how many years ago was this? Oh, more than that. It was before I had the retreat center. It had to be 7 years ago, all right? So I sold $28,000 or something, beat Ted Nicholas, Joe Sugarman, everybody, and he didn't sell a nickel, all right? Because he went for the standing ovation, and I went for the money. And people still love me too, see? So I'm thinking all throughout the speech is that I'm going to get you in the mindset that I can help you. And I don't try to twist your arm. Nobody has ever been forced to buy anything from me. In fact, they ask to get in a lot of times. So in your mind, you've got to know that you're ready to sell. And all the best-known speakers sell. Zig Ziglar, Tony Robbins, Brian Tracy. But you know what? They became best known because they sell. Because they have products around the world selling, promoting their name. See? So you've got to become a product machine like Dottie Walters taught me. You've got to become a product machine because your name can spread around the world at places that never could afford to hire you to speak. See? But they can buy your products, and now your name starts to spread. See? So products are really important to this. Now, make sure they know about you in your pre-program announcements. See? And this is under the topic of credibility. How do you get credibility in front of a crowd? Well, one thing is I tell people they are going to love me, or this is what I'm shooting for, before I get in the country I'm speaking in. So you act like a pro. Do what pros do and promote yourself. Be very careful about what's written about you in their programs. You provide it for them. All right? It says right there, pre-program announcements. Preview calls. How many were on preview calls for this event? Say, quite a few people. And so you got to know the speakers before you even got here. A lot of times they come because of those preview calls, and they can't wait to meet the speaker. Well, wouldn't you rather have that situation than have to do it all right at the last second and get people to know you? Yeah, I can do it, but I'd rather have it, the pathway paved. Now, this is one of the slickest things on earth, and it just amazes me why some speakers just are clueless to this. When I go to a major event, a lot of times I'll speak on the last day. Now, a lot of people are afraid of this because they think, oh, all the money will be gone by the time the last day comes up. Well, I don't think like that. What I think is that if I know the speakers that are on the program ahead of time, very frequently they're going to mention my name anyway because I taught a lot of them. Everybody here except for Brendan and Alex were actually students of mine at one time or learned a lot from me. So they'll mention me naturally. But if I know the speakers that are coming before me are good, I'll go up to them at the speaker reception. I'll say, hey, let's make a deal. I'll mention you from the stage if you mention me from the stage. And, speakers are hounds. They want their name mentioned. So I'm the one instigating this deal, all right? You with me so far? All right, now do the math on this, all right? If I go into all these 8 or 10 speakers ahead of time, and they're going to mention me, and I only have to mention them once, who wins here? All the speakers throughout the event have mentioned my name like I'm like some kind of god and a lot of times I have helped them quite a bit. But even if I didn't, the audience hears throughout the weekend, you got to see Tom Antion because everybody's talking about him, all right? This is by design. This is not anything underhanded. It's just marketing. So by the time I get to the end of the speech, which by another technique I use, I'm here early and stay late. How many have been to an event that I spoke at, not my own event? Was I there the whole time? From the beginning to the end. And I'm back there and I don't leave the room. I don't go BS all over the place. I'm watching the speakers ahead of me, carefully noting what they say for two reasons. One, I'm never going to get up here and repeat the same thing accidentally and look like an idiot because that person said it first. And the second thing is I can pay my debt back to them by mentioning something that they said. See, if Michael Broder was speaking with me, I could say, you all saw Michael Broder, wasn't he great? Now I paid my debt back, and then I can piggyback off of what he says that makes it look like I'm really with this program. So go early, stay late, make deals. Now, I will not make a deal if I know the speaker is an idiot, all right? Because I don't want the idiots, calling my name, and I sure as heck don't want to have to say something about them other than they're an idiot. All right? So that doesn't usually fly too good. So even though a lot of people are thinking it, and I'll tell you some of the ways, now this is really insider stuff now. A lot of times I will call them idiots in my own way that doesn't get me in trouble. And example, there's and I don't mean this guy's an idiot. I'm saying that as just a way that I don't really think I like them. All right. Stedman Graham. Anybody ever hear of this guy? Stedman Graham. Who is this guy? Oprah's boyfriend. See, that's his lot in life. He's Oprah's boyfriend. So he gets up on a program in front of me, and he's one of the guys that's going to zoom in like a diva and zoom out. So he's not even going to be there when I'm ragging on him. And so, and so. But I tease everybody. See, I just usually don't pick one person. I tease everybody. So that way he doesn't stand out. And my friends know what's going on, and they tease me back, and it's banter. The people that are divas that are disappeared, hell with them. I don't care. So he's getting up there, and I know you're all thinking I'm Oprah's boyfriend, and, I don't, look at my life by putting pigeonhole, like giving this big soapbox crap all right? And so he's long gone, and it's my turn. So I get up there, and I say, Stedman was pretty interesting, but, if I was Oprah's boyfriend, I'd be milking that for all it's worth, all right? Me crying about it. What's wrong with this guy? And so I'm teasing him like I'm teasing everybody else, but I mean it about him. And, and so he said something else, I forget, but I mean, he said, I don't want to be, I'm me, I'm not Oprah. And so I got up and said, if I was Oprah's boyfriend, why would I want to be me? All right, just playing off of what exactly he said, So this is the kind of stuff that you can bring down the house with. There was some lady that was about as woo-woo as woo-woo could be. I don't know what kind of ridiculous crap she was talking about. I mean, it was taking The Secret, which I hate, by the way, to the nth degree of goofiness and ridiculous. And I see people looking at each other because there's probably at least certified secret teachers here or something. And I'll tell you what, I don't mind The Secret as a great marketing ploy, all right? But when I came from this environment, and remember, we always revert back to where I came from, when they're teaching kids to visualize a bicycle and sit on their fat asses and not go to phys ed class, and the bike appears, that's it, all right? All right? All right? You've got to go get what you want. It's not going to appear out of thin air. If it did, it probably fell out of a truck and hit you in the head and kill you. All right? That's your secret for it. All right. All right. So, all right. Now let me come out of performance mode, which is what I was just in, and tell you just what happened. if you can take a strong stance that you can support, you will sell infinitely more than if you try to be a politician up here and make everybody happy, all right? See, some people are going to probably be pissed off about what I just said. Okay with me, all right? This is where I came from. Get mad at Sam, all right? He doesn't care, all right? So taking a strong stance is what I'm talking about, and being able to support it, all right? So one of the things to keep hecklers down, all right? Hecklers can be trouble. Hecklers to me would be a search engine optimizer and a web designer. Pretty much, that's it, all right? I mean, no, but everybody else is trying to make money and they like entrepreneurship, but the search engine people don't like me. So I'll say in the beginning of a talk, you know, we've only got so much time today, folks, and if you, you know, don't agree with what I say, it's okay with me. I'll be glad to discuss it with you outside of the event, but I want you to think of something. With the techniques I'm using, would you trade bank accounts with me right today? All right? That's what I'm saying to them in another crowd, let's say. And so that usually shuts them up, because these geeks get on their high horse about how something important something is, and you know, they would never, I got the bank accounts that I show people when they come to my house. It's not BS, see? So that usually shuts them up. They don't want to get outed in front of everybody that, yeah, they're broke, but they really believe in this certain technical deal, see? So that shuts them up. Because the last thing you want to do is get in an argument with somebody when you're trying to sell stuff. You can't win up here, all right? Yeah, I did 1,000 comic performances. I could really cut you down so fast with comic, those lines, you know, they use in a comedy club. Would I win if I did that? No. So I don't want to even be close to a situation where I got to argue with somebody, see? So take care of those ahead of time by thinking out, okay, who could be against what I say, and what can I say to diffuse them before they even bring it up? You know, and this is getting a little complicated, isn't it? Well, guess what? I went years before I sold big amounts at the back of the room to get it right. So when you think that, oh, yeah, I could pop up there and sell a fortune, all right, good, go do it. Let's see, all right? Because there's a lot of little things I had to work out along the way. Okay, so get other speakers to mention is important. Your introduction is important. See, in a place like this, I know all these guys, I can do it off the top of my head pretty much. But if you go to a place and they don't know you that well, you want to control your introduction. Doesn't mean it's going to work out perfect, folks. What I try to teach you is do as much of as you can perfectly, knowing that some of it's going to fail. But if you did all this great stuff, then you're still going to be okay. Because if I have this perfect introduction, and in your book tells you exactly how to write an introduction, I break it down into little sections on putting your credibility in, putting laugh lines in it, all this stuff. But if the person is drunk at a big, you know, I've had plenty of times. I'm coming up to an association meeting. I remember I was asked at the last second to go to the Rapid Excavation and Tunneling Conference. I mean, you know, these people dig holes in the ground, and it takes them a long time, too, because the guy that was running, did you ever hear the Yucca Mountain Project? They've been digging a hole for 40 years and still not done with it, all right, to put nuclear waste in. So the guy that ran the whole thing sitting in the audience right here. And I get called in at the last minute because some congressman canceled on him. So I'm looking at their program, which is a really good thing to do, folks, and pick out stuff. And coming in from outside the industry, a great trick is to just play dumb. That's easy for me to do anyway, all right? But I played dumb, and I said, okay, if I took this literally, all these things in this, where they dig holes, I'm going to make a really funny thing. So they're talking about penetration rates and things like this, all right? And so I'm coming up and saying, you know, they called me at the last minute, and I thought you guys, you know, dug holes, but I didn't realize what a filthy group this is, you know? And of course, they're all half-looped anyway. These are all crusty old guys that work out in the desert. And And so I start talking about all these penetration rates and the hole diameters and, I mean, everything that you could put a little spin on that's a little blue. Now, you couldn't do that in some places, but in this place you could. But the introduction is what I was talking about. The guy's totally drunk. I mean, he's totally smashed trying to read it. Mr. Ed, I have a drink here. He's like, this is the introduction. I mean, that was the introduction of this thing. All right? And it's like, I said, I actually went up and just said, I'll take it, you know. And I said, sit down. I actually had to help him down because he would have fallen off the stage. That's where the situation was in. So you're not always going to get the introduction done properly, but something I learned off of Dottie Walters, you print the introduction up, 2 or 3 copies, because you hand it to them ahead of time. They lose it before they have to get on stage. You have another copy. Make a deal with them. Shake hands with them. Look them in the eye and say, I have a gift for you. You know, I know you're going to help me with a beautiful introduction, just as I've written it, because there's some things here. Here's your trick. There's some things here I'm going to refer to during the speech, so you really need to read it just like I said. And thank you very much. See? So you just made a little deal with them. Now, if they're drunk, forget it, but that works beautifully. Okay, anti-name dropping. This is where you want your name dropped with other celebrities and luminaries, but you don't want to sound like it. And I used to tease Mark Victor Hansen unmercifully when he said something just totally nonchalant. Yeah, I was with the Dalai Lama the other day. All right, like it was nothing, all right? And so to me, this is unbelievable that he would not think that people would think he's name dropped. So I got up on stage and says, yeah, I ran into Mark and the Dalai Lama at Starbucks the other day. Yeah, boy, that Dalai can put down some lattes, I'll tell you. Whoa. Everybody's rolling on the floor, but it's good natured because he and I are buddies, so it's okay. But you want to be careful that you don't name drop. And so you'd want to put some of your name dropping in the introduction to get them to read it, see? If they mess up totally, then you bring in some of the name dropping, but you try to work it in on some really good point. Like I was working with, we've talked about Alcoa. So I was working with Alcoa, the president, so-and-so, needed me to do blah, blah, blah. So you're doing it, but you got to be careful that people don't put their heels in and think that you're just name dropping. All right. Okay, negative sell. This is a powerful technique. In my case, it's totally legitimate, but it is a technique of a negative sell, it's called. And in my case, you may have heard me say, I'm already rich, and that sounds a little arrogant. It's not going to make a difference in my life if you invest or not in further training, but it might make a difference in yours. All right, so I don't care, and I really don't, because I can go home and it really won't change my lifestyle. No matter what you do, it's not going to change my lifestyle, minus a major sexual harassment lawsuit. But no, it really isn't going to affect me, whatever you do. So when that's really true, then that comes across to people that you're not twisting their arm to buy, all right? People don't want to be sold to. I want to build value that you want to be with me and have some of the things that I can help you with. But if you don't, it's okay. And that's a negative sell. It's a technique, and the more true it is, hey, isn't that guy right there? Isn't that a director? What's that director's name? Scorsese? Martin Scorsese's with us right there. Look at him. One right in front of the blonde guy. Don't turn around. It's you. He's heard of it before. Stand up, Martin. He looks like Martin Scorsese. Yeah, let's hear it for Martin Scorsese sneaking into our thing. Yeah, I can see his eyebrows from here. Yeah. Okay, so a negative sell. Okay, now schmoozing. This is where you try to set up everything you possibly can set up ahead of time and talk to people. Meet and shake hands with them. Touch them. Not in a fashion that would get you in trouble, but touch them on the shoulders. Yeah, I mean, really, because, we were at a thing in, what month? In May, where the promoter took me and the other speakers aside and said, what do I do? Some guy's touching inappropriately when we're doing all this BS, massage crap that people do. Don't do that. That's just asking for trouble, all right? So some guy was touching a girl inappropriately, and we were like, what do we do? What do we throw him out? Yeah, he's going to get sued. Everybody's going to. So be careful. But it's never going to be if I walk down the road, and there's some speakers done it. I think did it, touch people on the shoulder, make a connection with you. Or, I walk up, shake hands with everybody, and I'm smiling, those kinds of things. So schmooze with people so that they feel you're real, not just some aloof expert. Exclusivity and scarcity. If you can, there's several words I want you to try to find a way to use. Yes? I sweat too much, Dave, and I don't want to get everybody wet. And plus, I'm getting old, man. That's a long way back there. I'm looking back there, and holy geez. Yeah, I'm not one of these guys that's in, I save it for a quick burst on the tennis court, and then you got to take a break, all right? If I go back there, by definition, I got to come back in a reasonable amount of time. So I don't... Yeah, so I'm not really one to jump around too much. I used to be, but it's just not in the cards right now. So it's not a bad idea, unless you're on video, you want to make sure that you're lit, because some of these people are clueless. They run out in the audience out of the lighting. And then even if it's a big crowd, they go totally black. The iMag can't pick them up, so you got two black screens and words coming out, and you can't see what the person's doing. So be careful of that. Okay, exclusivity and scarcity. Here's the words I want you to try to figure out a way to use with regard to something that you do. The only, the biggest, write these down, the best, the first. Only, biggest, best, first. So, for me, I've got the largest would be the same as biggest. I've got the largest internet magazine in our industry. The largest, see, superlative. I've got the only facility of its kind in the world, the Great Internet Marketing Retreat Center. See, when you can use those words, that helps set you apart to be exclusive. People will pay for exclusivity. Scarcity, on my, you hear people saying, I only have 10 packets. We'll ship you the rest. But sometimes they say, well, this is only for 10 people. And it works. People want to be one of those 10. So scarcity, if it makes sense for you. Now, more terminology. I mentioned it earlier. I don't ever speak anywhere. I appear. I make an appearance. You saw that cover for Dottie Walters. It said an exclusive engagement. All right? So be careful of how you're described. There's a really great book. Trying to think of the name of it. It's called How Business People Are Turned into Celebrities. And I forget the main title of it, but if you search on just those kinds of terms, you'll find it in Amazon. Now, also with regard to your products, now remember, we're selling at the back of the room. That's what this whole section is. With regard to your products, use these words: system, kit, and method. Not all in the same one, but system, kit, or method. So I have the Wake 'em Up Video Professional Speaking System. I've got the Teleseminar Kit. I've got the Antion Success Method. See? Now, when you say something like a system, what is that, just that alone, what does that say to you? It's several things, and it's kind of all you need. If you had this system, you'd have what you needed. The kit is the same way. A method means, oh, there's an exact recipe like James was talking about to do what I need to do. See? So those words are very powerful. So make your products, call them something with those terms in them. Okay, let's say, address negatives up front. This is not necessarily hecklers, but what I don't want people sitting out there and thinking, oh yeah, you're selling how to get, make money stuff. That's easy to sell. So what I will say at the beginning of almost every speech that I do now is, Listen, I made my fortune selling public speaking videos, and most people hate public speaking, so it was a hard sell. This negates the people that would want to say, well, you're just getting rich selling how to get rich stuff. Well, no, I got rich selling really hard stuff that nobody wants. I learned how to do it, see? So address any potential negatives up front. Any salesperson will tell you, if you address it first, it becomes a non-issue, right, Jim? But if they bring it up, now you're backpedaling and you got to fight your way out. See, so I don't want to be in that position. Okay, now let's see. Likability, go early, stay late, smile, tease people if you're good at it. All right, teasing people. You've seen banter going on here. James teasing me. Brendan teased me. He's really growing up, isn't he? Getting a little nerve, little twerp. Yeah. he said, yeah, da 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 da. That was he's teasing me. That was all he could come up with. Where is he? Yeah. So, no, he's a great guy. So when you like somebody and tease, people just love that. They love the fact that you're not full of yourself. Put it like that. So be able to tease people. Strong, supportable position. Now, the next thing, see it says be a big jerk. So underline the word big or circle it. Now, there are some people that do this in a completely different fashion than me, and they're very successful. You've heard the word Dan Kennedy, one of Lori's new boyfriends or something, all right? No, she's happily married. But he's a big jerk, but by purpose. I mean, that's his shtick to be. I hear actually behind the scenes, he's a massive teddy bear, gives money to all kinds of causes, and a nice guy. But he puts out a persona that he's a jerk, pretty much. Same with Jeffrey Gitomer, puts out a persona that they're a jerk. Larry Winget puts out a really big jerk persona, all right? And these guys, I mean, I'm not ragging on them. That's they know that's their shtick. But the problem with most people like you coming up, if you try to pull that, you're just enough a jerk to be annoying, all right? You haven't got to hold all the way with the Don Rickles thing, all right? But but Dan Kennedy has more disciples than anybody in the marketing field, all right? But you can only like fax him on 2:00 p.m. on Wednesday or something, all right? And, that kind of stuff, see? So if you're going to do that persona, which I don't really recommend, I mean, you got to have the personality and go take it all the way so that people know what's going on. But that's not really a good thing. Success stories and testimonials, audio, video, and written. All right, we had and live. We had Lori. I didn't even know she was going to be here. Lori came up, gave me a testimonial. We have video ones, very powerful. You saw almost all the speakers show video testimonials of people that they've helped. Very powerful when you can hear somebody in their own words. And a lot of times, I mean, it's the serendipity of it. I do so many of these events. Somebody will come up out of the crowd that I never heard of, really, and say, you know what, you helped me so-and-so. And it really makes you want to cry because when you're up here, you can really touch somebody and never even know it. So be careful what you say, because I never am up here to try to hurt anybody. But if you find somebody, I mean, I had a guy come up to me at an event and say, I made $100,000 because one idea you got. Oh, man, bring it on. He came up and said that, and he wasn't making it up. He had the figures right there. So one idea I gave him made all that money. So watch for that and be open. See, if you're an old meanie sitting over here or hiding from people, you won't get those people to come up and tell you how you've helped them. Okay. Use your product during your speech. I got to reiterate that one. Put a big star. And that's why I don't use PowerPoint. I make these Camtasia videos. A lot of people have been asking me, what's the program I've been using? It's Camtasia. And I have been using it since the year 2000. I have made millions of dollars with this program. Not only using it on stage to show my product, but to cut down customer service. So a lot of times you ask me something, I show you a video. And it's better than if I tried to tell you on the phone, because you can see what's going on. We train our new employees with it. Why would I want to sit there and tell them the same thing over again and show them a video? See, so Camtasia is wonderful. and they haven't seen it before. And this is also how you sell without selling, because a lot of places you're not allowed to sell. So what I do is I play my video, and I casually say, you know, there's 50 videos on this CD, but we only have time to watch 2 or 3 of them. And then I show them. And then now the people in the crowd are coming up and wanting to buy it. And I say, well, I'm sorry, I'm not allowed to sell. You have to talk to the meeting planner. And now the meeting planner is getting bombarded with people saying, hey, that guy's great. We want that thing. We need it. And he said he's not allowed to sell anything today. Boom. Now they're coming up and making an order or calling the purchasing department and getting a requisition for 50 of them to give out at $200 a piece. Okay? That's how you sell when you're not allowed to sell. Okay, drawings. Now this is one that if you ask me to come to your event and I say, okay, I got a very strict set of rules, and if you say I can't do a drawing, I'll say I'm not coming. Thanks for asking, but I'm not coming. You saw James do one, right? Well, this is one of the really important parts of this whole deal. Everybody else, I'm kind of messing with the speakers after me after telling this, but everybody else waits to the end and then hits you with their product. And if you've been on some bigger programs than this, there's 40 speakers, and it's like, oh my God, all right, we're waiting for him, or the speaker to hit you with the deal. All right, what's the deal? Well, I don't do that. What I do is I hold a drawing somewhere about the midway point or later so that they like me, they've been laughing, they've had a great time, they got great information. And then I say, how about I give something away? And in fact, in my introduction, it says, Tom's going to give away $60,000 worth of prizes, $90,000 worth of prizes. You think you can't do this? Yes, you can. For instance, I think I did it in this case. You all got the Click ebook as a bonus for coming, didn't you? $97 for this. All right, it's a $97 ebook. Let's say there was 1,000 people in the crowd. How much money did I just give away? $97,000, and it didn't cost me a nickel. All right, so you can give away digital products with a high value and brag up your appearance and give away big prizes. However, I always say I give away better prizes than anybody. And then I hold a drawing, and then what happens is, remember, we're not at the end of the speech, we're in the middle. Then I have my package of materials, and then I have my retreat center. These are the things that I sell, the big things I sell. And nobody resists hearing about them because they're hearing what they're trying to win. There's no sales resistance. So I can fully describe my whole product. Yeah, somebody's going to win this. And then I sit down and I show the PowerPoint of the retreat center, go on and on and on about it, and somebody's going to come to my $5,000 weekend for free. And they're hooting and hollering. They want to put their business cards in. Now, this serves a couple purposes. I have now described my product with no sales resistance. Nobody got up and left because it was the end of the speech and they've heard too many pitches. They're hearing about it and they're going to win it. Somebody's going to win it. So I describe it. The other thing is that I walk away with 98% of the database in the audience for follow-up sales, where most people, if they told you to go home and sign up for a freebie, you'd be lucky if you get 3 people out of a big audience to do it. But I walk away with all of them, and I put them in the database myself. That's how I got the biggest database in the world in my industry. So you hold a drawing, describe your products, and then you move on and give them more content. So that's history, but they all know exactly what you have then with no sales resistance. All right, great. Okay, we're on page 127. You can do some great things with OnStage. Yes?
Quick question on gathering the parts for a database. Are there any issues with the spam laws right now that would you then follow up with an email?
Question is about the spam laws. Well, virtually every time I speak, I'm taped now. You know, I speak at all the big events, and they're always taped. So I say this exact thing. Hey, everybody, how about I give out something? Everybody's, oh, yeah, whoop-de-doo. And I say, okay, here's how it's going to work. I'm going to do a business card drawing, and if you don't want to ever hear from me by email, write no emails on the back of your card, and I'll honor it. Okay, everybody with that? I'm on tape, and everybody's agreeing to it and have heard it. So, and then I direct the crowd. You all pass it in here, you all pass it here, and you all pass it here, and I have people coming down to collect them. And so I'm on tape in this crowd, and never in all these years have had one spam complaint from that, doing it that way. Okay, so you can do lots of great things. You can, one time, let me get some of my stuff here. I like to make a lot of hoopla. And let's see. I got some glasses here. Here they are. I bought all this. These are glow glasses. Here you go, Marianne. You put it on. Watch the cooties. Yeah. And I had my whole theme for the thing, I just made it up, was, do you see the light? And I was just doing that hoopla through the whole thing. Do you see the light, Terry? Do you see the light? And so I gave everybody these glow glasses, and you have to put them together so it's something to do. And then I did a room blackout. And the whole room is these big eyes staring at me, and they got pictures of it. It's just total impact. See, so people will remember that forever. See, so I don't mind because I make a lot of money. So I spent $500 or something to buy these things. Yeah, I think you're supposed to crack it. I don't know if you did it right or not. We've got a remedial student here. See how fun it is? Yeah, you have to be 6 years old to do it, right? Yeah, and then you shake it and it starts to glow, that kind of thing. But anyway, I do that. I do confetti cannons. You don't have to do any of that stuff, but I mean, people remember when I was there. Trust me. Okay. Now, here's another on page 127. Deliver at the hope level. Deliver at the hope level. What does that mean? Well, does anybody that's fairly new at this think that I could get up here and just totally snow you in about 5 minutes? After doing this 14 years straight, I know every trick in the book. Probably could with my internet stuff, right? Well, why would I want to do that? Would that make you feel like, oh, I really want to work with him so I can be confused for a lot of money? How about that? All right? No. So I deliver at the hope level, which means that I don't want to be so kitty cat that it's boring to you, but I want to deliver out of your reach a little bit, just far enough that you could feel like you could do this. All right? And I've had people come up to me, I can't remember who it was, but and I don't want to embarrass you, but said, now I feel like I could do it. In fact, it was you, wasn't it? Didn't you say a light bulb came off or something? Yeah. A huge light bulb went off. But if I would have just been delivering way up here where she's like, what is he talking about? She's never going to want to work with me. It's too high a level. Now, if she was that level, I can talk up there. But pretty much in an audience, they're not always going to be really high level. So you have to gauge that and deliver just at a level that they feel, I could do that. And then they want to be with you. That's a really important point. All right, deliver at the hope level. Now, pain and scare tactics. Pain is a very big motivator of people. And I use it like crazy. In fact, if you had to pick one thing that I do when I go to speak somewhere, my mission, scare the heck out of you. Scare the heck out of you. Have you laughing, have you have a good time, give you a lot of good information, scare the pants off of you. Because I want you to know there's consequences of not knowing what I know. And I want you to think like that. What are the consequences to your audience of not knowing what you know? Okay? So I might go up to Steve here and I'll say, Steve, there was a guy sitting right there. This is a technique also, again, where I'm getting everybody to hone in. Steve, there was a guy sitting right there, spent $37,000. Some geek talked him into it to create a multimedia CD. I did it for a $350 piece of software, and it's better than his, and now he's doing it my way. See, I'm not going to let that happen to you, Steve. So I come in on the white horse, and I'm going to save him, see? But I want to scare him that there's a consequence, and there really was. Let's go ahead and stand up there. Turn around. Think of about 1,000 people. Do we know how to do a room blackout or not, Audrey? Yeah. Try a room blackout. Yeah. Hold on, Marianne. She's going to see if she can black the room out. Room blackouts are great. You can't turn off the exit signs, but they're really fun. That's not quite a room blackout. Oh, here we go. Can you imagine 1,000 people looking like that? How much fun that is? Yeah, see? Massive impact. This is also a good technique if you're using audio. If you really want to focus people's senses on their ears, turn the lights off. Brief periods, all right? And you can't turn the exit lights off. I don't know if they went off or not on that, but you shouldn't be able to turn the exit lights off. But that's a massive impact technique. Okay. So pain and scare tactics. So there really was another lady sitting right about here that spent $80,000, I usually go like that, $80,000 on her website without one visitor and one sale. And she swore me, I forgot her name years ago, but she swore me to secrecy anyway. She was so embarrassed about it. But $80,000. I said, I will never let that happen to you, ever, all right? And people that know me know that I don't BS. I'm going to do what I tell you. So make them scared and understand that there's consequences of not knowing what you know. Okay, point out the obvious. This happens in almost every crowd. How many has a great website? Oh, I do. And so I said, okay, how much money did it make last week? Well, nothing really. Okay, how much did it make last month? Well, it's really a good-looking website. How much money did it make? Let's give you the last 5 years. All right? And they're like dumbfounded. I said, well, how great is it then, man? I mean, is it just a brochure? Is it just an ego that your family can? I don't really, it depends on who they are before how hard I hit them with the obvious. But it's not a great website if it doesn't do things for you. It's just a brochure. So I point out the obvious. Now, you also show them how your product makes sense financially. So in my case, and a lot of people were asking about my mentor program. I'm giving a lot of these other speakers a chance to show you their wares, and there's not much overlap here. But in my mentor program, the entry fee is $59.95. I knock off $1,000 at a program like this. At the end of this year, it's going to $69.95. And as soon as my distance learning school starts, it's going to $10,000, and then it's going to go to $25,000 as soon as my school's really rolling, because I just can't handle enormous more people because I give them a very high level of service. So it's got to make sense financially for people, and I'm sure there's people in this room that have spent more than $5,000 on one website that's probably not working for them. Don't hold your hand. I don't want to everybody have to see you cry. But in my program, you get 2 websites, and you learn how to do it, so it never costs you money again. You get the blog. You get a half hour in my TV studio. You get all this stuff. You get the visit to the retreat center. All of this stuff for $5,000. But I had to add a percentage of sales on it because I couldn't afford to even do that for you anymore, because one crappy email promotion for me is $8,000 to $10,000. So how could I spend a year helping you unless I had a chance to get paid back? So I added a percentage of sales that's capped. So this is a good tip for you. If you can do it in some fashion, add a percentage of sales, but cap it so that they don't feel like they're getting stuck with you the rest of their life. Okay? So mine, it's capped at $50,000. Blog Squad paid theirs off a couple months ago, didn't you? Yeah, they made $50,000. They just gave themselves a raise because they don't have to pay me anymore. But I helped them get it, so it was fair they paid me. But now, they're on the program now because I know they're great, and so I'm happy to make joint ventures with them. See? So, yeah, Michael. Yeah, yes, exactly. For me to get my $50,000, they had to make $200,000. See, so this is yeah, exactly. You're making it clear financially why it makes sense. So there's mentees in here that haven't made a nickel. All right, and do I feel bad about it? Not a bit. I'll tell you why. Because everybody, it comes back to I can always shove things off on my dad since he's not here. All right, but the reason is because I know, and let me bring up a term that's very interesting to me, and the term is called overwhelm. You know what I hear when I hear the term overwhelm? I hear a person that wants immediate results and so grabs at a bunch of straws hoping for the immediate results and doesn't get them, and doesn't have the attitude that I'm going to build a long-term business, so I'm going to learn a little bit here and keep learning to get, I've been doing this 14 years. It didn't happen overnight. So overwhelm is, I don't laugh at you when you tell me that, but I know that you're wanting results that you don't deserve. That's what overwhelm means to me, because you didn't do the little steps to get to where I am. Okay. But anyway, you show them how your product makes sense financially, and that is a great way to sell more. Catchphrases, that sign, work, get paid, 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 and I get people to call it out. That's a catchphrase. Split stories, that's what I was telling you, where you start the story and then end it later. If you have one, that's good. Now, here's one of the big things, simple offers. Simple offers. I sit back, and I'm an audience watcher. I see, and I laugh because I know the less they sell, the more is going to be there for me when I come around. Because I sit back and I see we got the gold package and the silver package and the platinum package and then the super platinum package. And we got, if you don't want that, you can do this. And I see people looking at each other. When I see people doing this, I love it. What? They're whispering. What? I don't get it. If they don't get it, they're not buying. All right? I got one deal. We don't have I don't know if I have that order form here, but it says package 1. But there's no package 2. It's like package 1 is all there is. All right, so that package 1, that was it. And see, oh, okay, I get it. See? So, and one time I forgot to sell the package 1, and I sold more mentee programs. So I quit selling the package 1. So I just said, okay, it's my mentee program, and we'll give you package 1. See? So simple sells. This is why I outsell. When people are confused, they don't buy anything. So it's a simple offer. Forget that platinum stupid crap. All right? Jeff Herring's like writing his new presentation. No, I don't know. No, I don't know. Hopefully he won't do that. Okay. Second, and 2- and 3-part order forms. Now, see, as long as you're not at these super big convention rallies where there's tens of thousands of people, I want people to move through fast, and I don't run the credit cards live. I get them on that sheet, they tear off the cover, give you one part, I take the other part, and I run them later. Nobody ever screws you over. If they did, they're hurting themselves. I mean, I'm not gonna change my lifestyle. All right, I might kill you if I see you, but other than that, it's not gonna really change my lifestyle. So get them through fast with 2- and 3-part order forms rather than fooling around trying to buy a machine and do all this stuff to try to run the credit card live. Run it in your room later. Keep them entertained and laughing. This is a lot of, how many have ever seen me do the triple drop technique with the cell phone? Audrey, you've seen it. I know you've seen it. Raise your hand. Because I pretend like the phone's ringing and that the promoter is telling me the deal isn't good enough. All right, it's just a stupid little thing. And I say it's the lawyer, and he says he's going to sue me if I don't give you a better deal. So go ahead and scratch out another thing. And I put it down. And then I start talking again like nothing happened. Then it rings again, and it's like, what do you mean I'll never work in this town again? And shut up, and all right, take another 100 off. And I ain't answering that thing yet. It's a wrong number if it rings. So they're laughing while they're giving me their credit card number. All right, this is a beautiful thing. All right, and so anyway, think up of something that they're having fun with you, and be a fun person. You'll always sell more if you're entertaining and fun, and you don't look like a stuffed shirt. All right. Now, there's guys like Stephen Covey. I'm sure if he was standing up here to get, I don't know how much he gets a speech, 70,000. Some of you would sign up for him because of his reputation. But he can't speak as good as me or even anybody, as far as I know. All right, because he's the worst on earth. Did you ever see him? Anybody ever see him? Yeah, I mean, he's the worst on earth, but he's famous, so he can get away with that. But we usually can't. We got to be entertaining. All right. Now, tote bags. This is a good thing. Now, I just use a clear plastic bag so that my stuff shows through it. And I used to shrink wrap it. Bad idea. Because if you shrink wrap it, people are afraid to open it because then it's all slopped all over the place and they can't carry it easily. with these little plastic bags. Do we have one back there, Colin? Run one up here. Yeah, people can, you can have it sitting here. Yeah, like that, right? Yeah, you got all, I'm sorry, because they got bonus packs. People, if they had a big pack of my normal stuff, it could be sitting there, and then Michael could say, what do you got there? And Sharon wouldn't have to tear it to pieces to look at it. She could take it out, he could look at it, now he wants one, put it back in, and she can carry it on the plane easily. See, so all of these things are the little nuances that help you sell a fortune. And I'll tell you what, I mean, the first day you do how many have done 1,000 at the back of the room? That's cool. How many have done 5,000? All right. How many have done 10? How many have done 100? $100. Yeah. So lots of times I've done $250,000. All right. I've never done $1 million myself because I'm not in front of the bigger audiences. But last week not last week, 2 weeks ago in Charleston, South Carolina, the only reason I went to the event is one of my students and begged me, and he said there was going to be 100. There's 25 people there. Still did 35,000 back of the room. All right. So when you do these things, I mean, it's hard to believe now, but if you get your act together on this can just you don't have to run all over. Somebody was telling me they did 100. Or weren't you telling me, Michael, you did 100 presentations last year or something? Yeah, I did 6. And I'm in the top 1% of speaker income in the world, all right, because of this technique and the internet part of it, see? And the follow-up from the database for the people, because I never really twist anybody's arm. Has anybody ever felt that I pressured them into, I mean, it's a joke to even ask, because they know I'll walk the other way. Hey, when you're ready, I'm around. That's the most pressure you ever get out of it. So the follow-up, though, is I'll get, after this event, I guarantee you, somebody will say, I'm ready now. Can I still have the same price? I'll say, screw you. No, I won't say that. No, I won't say that. I'll say, no. I will say yes. Because I don't really play those games, and that's kind of a negative sell. I don't care when you sign up, because I don't really want to get on your team unless you're on your team. I'm not going to babysit you, all right? I want you to be fully invested, because I can't stand it if you're not successful, all right? But I'm not going to chase you around. Okay. Last thing is isolation room. What I do is I don't go for the standing ovation. What I do is I tell folks, listen, I'm going to spend every moment helping you and giving you tips, and I'm only limited by how much time they'll let me stay up here. But if you want to hear about this other thing, I want everybody that's interested to meet me right here in this corner or that corner or whatever it is, and I've already got the other meeting planners ready. Because sometimes we got to go to a room that's like hard to get to, and I don't want to lose people in the bathrooms all along the way. So I get a bunch of people lined up. I said, anybody that's interested, think that I'd be a good guy to have on their team? After it, we're going to go right there. So, and then I make them keep the microphone hot. I don't let them turn on the music. This will kill you. And I almost tackled Mark Victor Hansen one time because all of a sudden, he and somebody else decided right when I'm doing this, which is $250,000 on the line. Were you there, Megs? He's throwing T-shirts and just doing all kinds. I'm thinking, you're too successful. Shut up. Leave me, go back and chicken soup something. I mean, get out of my way. My God, I'm supposed to make a mint for both of us today. Get out of my way. So, he forgets sometimes. But don't, make sure you pay attention to that. Talk to the person ahead of time. All right, I want no music playing when I'm done. We have the isolation room ready. That's what we call it. Don't say that we're taking you to an isolation room. It's like we're taking you to Auschwitz or something, all right? But I will say, hey, if you want to come over, we don't have any machine gun nests. There's no pressure, but I'm only going to take questions on this program. I'll be around the rest of the day for any internet questions you have. Thank you so much for having me. I'll meet you right here. Microphone's hot. I stand there. Okay, everybody, right here. Anybody that wants to go? And they're saying that in the back of the room. Meet Tom here, and the other people are helping them get to the same place if we have to go very far. So then I spend a half hour telling them all about the program and walk out with $250,000, okay? Now, I don't usually sign them up all right in that room. I hang around till the end of the deal because some people just want to talk to you and one-on-one and come up and whisper to you and see if you'll treat them right. And I treat them right, and 2 or 3 people more sign up, which is another $15,000 because I was willing to not be a hotshot diva and with my entourage and all that crap, all right? And most of those people you see doing that, I could buy them and sell them, all right? So this is my method anyway, and it's worked, and I'm sure it'll work for you. Now, if you would like to have some real attention on you learning this method. Oh, by the way, the whole next 129 to 179 is the whole transcript on 2 hours of all the nitty-gritty details. So, if you would like, turn to the back of your binder, the back cover, because I can't find the order form. Oh, I got it here. You could pass these out, Audrey, if you want. These are back of the room. This is the first time ever I'm going to do this. It's the back cover. It's actually the cover is, look at the back cover. Oh, close your binder, and that's what I'm talking about. I'm going to, in 2 dates, and 2 dates only, I'm going to do a 2-day luxury training on this. Luxury means that there's only 10 participants. I'm going to do one-on-one consultation with you personally on your back of the room sales technique. I'll help you develop products that are appropriate for you. We're going to have video feedback training in our studio to tape you doing what you're doing and critique you. You do have to agree to help other people if you're there, to participate in the critiquing of everybody else. That's part of the value. We're going to put you up at a local hotel, haul you back and forth. We're going to pick you up from a limo, with a limo at the airport like we do our mentees. All your meals are included, everything. So that for the general public, that's going to be $59.95. Show special is $49.95. And any mentees come for $37.46, which is, they get 25% off anything. Although they get almost everything for free, they get 25% off of these oddball things. So, and we'll finance it for you. I don't even know, let's say 25% down and the rest over 6 months. How's that, if that helps you? So if you want that, fill that out. Now, earlier we had this amazing public speaking on your table, and let's see what else we got. Oh, there's another one that you're going to get called the Wake 'em Up and the Magic order form. The Wake 'em Up system is a DVD set. It's the one that's been selling forever on the internet, and it includes a lot of consultation with it. So if you get this thing and you come to that, I'm going to throw in all the other stuff we have available. So I'm not even going to tell it to you because that would be too confusing, right? You get it all. So just take it.